Welcome everybody to Daytona International Speedway. My name is Josh Hall. This is the Doghouse Racing League here on Intensity Broadcasting. This is the Shoney's Tuesday Night Truck Series. My name is again Josh Hall. We're excited for some super speedway racing here tonight. Super speedway racing is a passion of mine. It's something I always enjoy, not just racing in, but watching as well and calling. So this is going to be an exciting one here tonight. We're going to take a look at our points coming into tonight. You see at the top of the board is Andrew Pratt. Jeremiah Stutzman still in second. Actually losing a spot, falling down a spot. Christopher Simon up 2 spots. Jason Miz up the 4th. Doug Solms in the 5th position. Oh, we got trucks flipping around on track right now. As you can see where your favorite drivers are currently running in the points. So we get the truck points up on the screen for you as well. Not truck, team standings up on the board for you as well. You see Twisted Axle East still at the top of the team standings. At the top, Motorsports back in second. Twisted Axle North standings exactly the same as we looked at them last time. So, but Daytona can change everything. Being a super speedway, it's really easy for things that are out of your control to take place here tonight. So we'll be watching for this all night long as we got about 3.5 minutes left here in practice. Don't forget, if you're watching live, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. If you're watching after broadcast, like and following and subscribe, it still helps us out. We do appreciate it. At the top of the board is Jonathan Jennings, but as we know, practice speeds here really don't mean anything. We'll take a look. You see the 96 out on track. The 96 of Mike Hayes. Won the last 2 races that he ran. Currently sits in the 13th position on the speed charts, but again, speed charts don't mean anything here in practice. As you see this group coming up on another group of trucks. And if you're new to super speedway racing, this is what you're going to see a lot of is drafting, and that is the truck in front is going to push the air out of the way for the other trucks. That allows them to work as a group to try to get around other vehicles. As you can see, Michael Lester, who won the Talladega race, bit of a super speedway guy himself and leading this train at the moment, trying to get some speed and learn who he can draft with and who his partners are going to be tonight. Unlike most forms of racing, you've got to have somebody working with you. You've got to have a dancing partner. You're not going to be able to do it alone. And 2 or 3 trucks running together are going to run faster than a single truck by itself. When the whole pack is lined up, they're going to run much faster than a pack of 3 or 4 trucks. So we'll see all night long just how important that draft is to these drivers. And there'll be some buzzwords you'll hear me say. Energy is one of them. Energy is what lane is currently moving forward. Another one of my favorite buzzwords is side draft. And there's a big spoiler on the back of that truck, as you see. And you see David Husley going down to the inside of Lester. And that driver can pinch that other driver down, dump all the air coming around his truck like a boat wave onto that spoiler and slow that truck down. So we'll see the side draft all night as well. As we have about a minute left here in practice. Again, we want to thank everybody who makes this series possible. With league admin Daniel Wilkerson. And of course, our sponsor, Shoney's. Of course, we already know that Doghouse's Tuesday night truck series is proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's is open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations to try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar and take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. Of course, as always, those strawberry pies, as practice is over, those strawberry pies are great for all occasions, family events, or any other event you'd like to make just a little bit sweeter. Qualifying underway. Let's see who first trucks to roll on track is. The first one we see is the 13 of Christopher Leftwich. Again, Daytona can be a bit of a wild card. You see it in real NASCAR. Some of the underfunded teams find themselves up at the front. And we can see that tonight. Some of the drivers who we may not see near the front, we might be talking about them here tonight. Qualifying at Daytona here is a little unique as well. You'll see these drivers on their out lap, and usually their first lap, they're going to run right up against that wall, trying to get as much speed out of these trucks as he can. These trucks have what's called a restrictor plate. It's a metal plate that goes over the, well, in this case, it's the throttle body or carburetor of the truck. And it reduces the amount of air that can go into the engine and decreases horsepower. So instead of having all 700 horsepower available at one time, these trucks have about 420 with the restrictor plate on. So because of that, it takes them a little bit longer to get wound up. That's exactly what we're seeing on Christopher Leftwich right now, as he's trying to get that truck wound up at the moment. And coming to the line here, he might run another lap at the top. He might run down to the bottom. Yep, he's going to go down to the start-finish line. So now he's going to keep that truck pegged down on that yellow line all the way around. We're going to try to keep it right there on that yellow line. Although you don't want to cross that double yellow line and go onto the apron. That will cause that truck to be a handful and get out of control. So we'll see how he's able to handle turns 3 and 4 as he comes rocketing down the backstretch. And across the line, and Christopher Leftwich, that's the only lap he's going to be able to have or have time for. Currently at the top of the board. See DJ Honeycutt out on track. Coming across the start-finish line. DJ is going to put himself currently up into the second position. Talladega winner Michael Lester Sr. out on track. just took the green flag. He's running it the way I qualify. Enter high, let the truck walk down the hill. And he's going to come right back up to the wall here off the corner. What that does is that allows that truck to keep his momentum. But right now he's pegged right down on that yellow line. Making his way through turns 3 and 4. And move Lester Sr. up into the 9th position. It looks like that's all we're going to have for qualifying tonight. As we got about 15 seconds before we grid them up here at Daytona. Another unique thing that the league is running now, iRacing introduced the restart zone, just like you see in real NASCAR. So we're going to see that tonight at the start-finish line, or I should say on the front stretch. You're going to see a blue painted block on the front stretch, and that is the restart zone, and we'll get into that in just a moment. Let's take a look at our starting grid. And on pole tonight is the 42 of Stephen Hayes. Justin McMahon going to roll off in P2. Mike Hay is going to qualify third, last week's winner, with Steve Gerber to his outside in the 4th spot. DJ Cunningcut qualifies 5th, and Christopher Leftwich in the 6th position. Sorry about that. 7th place, David Husley with Marshall Johnson rolling off 8th, and Mike Leftwich and Michael Lester Sr. round out your top 10. Connor Dittemeyer in the 4, he'll be rolling off 11th with Kenny Heath in 12th. 13th will be Christopher Simon with Michael Thorpe Jr. in the 14th position. Jeremiah Stutzman, he'll be rolling off from 15th with Jason Miz in the 16th position. 17th, Adam Gardner, Jonathan Jennings in 18th, and rounding out row number 10, the one of Eric Peck and Joshua Slade. 21st will be Ricky Hudges II, Andrew Pratt in 22nd, Chuck Cobb 23rd, Kevin Thompson rolls off from the 24th position, Adam Duff back in 25th, Leander Johnson 26th, Daniel Wilkerson 27th, Eddie Rivers 28th, Doug Solms and Kevin Powell round out the rest of the field here at Daytona. As the trucks are getting gridded up here on the front stretch, again, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube. We do appreciate you tuning in. We do got the chat live, so let us know who you're rooting for here tonight as the field gets ready to roll into the world epicenter of speed. Again, we're going to see these drivers all night long working with each other. Going to be a lot of pushing, a lot of shoving. We'll see who can come out on top here tonight. A couple drivers I'd be looking out for tonight. Of course, the 96 of Mike Hayes, who won the last 2 races. Michael Lester Sr. in the 6, won at Talladega. Adam Gardner showed some speed at the Super Speedways last season as well, so watch for him to be up there at the front tonight. And Kevin Thompson starting way back in the 24th position. I expect to see that 21 make his way through the field and get up towards the front tonight. So you'll see that restart zone as the field makes their way down towards the tri-oval. On the initial start, it is on the green flag of the starter. But if we have a yellow flag, you see that Geico right there, the restart has to be done within that box as the green flag is in the air. Stephen Hayes gets out to a great jump already. Mike Hayes right there on the back bumper. McMahon with no help. Currently trying to get something going on the top line. He's got the 19 right there behind him of Steve Gerber. Gerber, another good super speedway racer. We always see him up towards the front, and tonight's going to be no different as he's going to try to work himself up towards the front. The 45 of DJ Honeycutt riding in line with David Husley right there behind him as the field makes their way towards turn number 3 for the first time. Bottom lane really formed up well right now. That top lane just does not have the formation that they need as everybody's kind of merging down to the bottom line. And we'll see. We got that blue truck back there, I believe. Oh, as he jumped down to the bottom. That was the 7 of Miz. He was just on the high lane. Now he jumped down to the bottom. Now we see Joshua Slade up there by himself on that high line. He does not have to check up. He can run wide open up there, not have to worry about running over the truck in front of him. So as he's running there on the high side, we'll see if he's able to make his way to the back bumper of the 5 of Kenny Heath. And those two, yeah, you can see Slade pull right up on the back bumper of Heath. And as they come off of turn number 4, we'll see if those 4 drivers up on the high side get hooked up there together and get something going. Up front, though, Stephen Hayes continues to lead over Mike Hayes. And then Honeycutt still sitting there back in that 3rd position. But here comes that high lane with the 20 of McMahon starting to make a little bit of movement up on that high side. He's got Gerber right there on the back bumper trying to give him every shove he can. And we'll see that accordion effect. We'll see that drivers are going to have to check up a little bit to keep from running into the back of the truck in front of them as the 4 of Connor Dittmeyer jumps up to the high side. So now we got 3 trucks on that high side. We're going to get a little more energy up there. See if they're starting to make their way forward. As you can see, McMahon now going around the outside of Husley just with that little bit of help from the 4. Here comes the 5 and the 79. That is Kenny Heath and Joshua Slade. Still working that high line, trying to get caught up to those 3 in front. If they could get up there, they could change the complexity of the race, although McMahon is already to the outside of Honeycutt, and he's trying to move himself forward as he's almost into the 3rd position. He does have that 3rd position just by a nose as they make their way off of 2 and down the backstretch. And that 2nd driver, he's controlling everything. He's pushing that truck in front of him in both lanes, and they're doing everything they can to try to keep those lead trucks out front. We've got a challenge for the lead, McMahon. Now it has team, and here's the 5 and the 79. So there you go. There's 5 trucks lined up on the high side. They're going to help get McMahon up to the front. Oh, Heath up into the wall. Not a lot of contact, but enough to slow him down. That's going to hurt that high line just a little bit as you see McMahon already falling back. And unlike NASCAR rules, these drivers can push on each other. So you'll see these drivers pushing as hard as they can all night long. Although, you got to be careful because as you push, that engine temperature is going to go up. And you'll be pushing the water right out of the radiator. So it's kind of a gentle balance of being able to push that driver in front, but keep yourself in a position where you don't blow up the motor, especially in a league like this where there are no resets, there are no fast repairs. See Christopher Leftwich jump up to that high lane. Now that high lane, there's Simon. I was talking about him earlier. He'd be one to watch coming up through the field, and you see he's already tucked up underneath Christopher Leftwich, trying to make that top lane go. So McMahon up to the lead, got around Stephen Hayes. Getting that push from Steven Gerber. Now Gerber's trying to do the same thing as he's getting a big push from Connor Dittmeyer. At this point of the race, you really don't want to be the leader, in my opinion, because you're burning more gas than everybody else out there. Drivers in the back there, somewhere around where Daniel Wilkes is running, Eddie Rivers back in the 23rd, 24th, 25th position, they can run half throttle as we see Gerber make his way out to the front with a big push from the 4 of Dittemeyer. Now Dittemeyer is going to push from Joshua Slade up towards the front. We'll see if that 4 is able to take the lead here. But just so much more air you're pushing up front. You're burning more fuel. And that can come into play here, especially if we have a green-white checker finish. Getting onto pit road is no easy task either. As getting onto pit road, you're going from 180, 190 miles an hour. These drivers are pushing 180 miles an hour right now at the front. Down to 55. Excuse me, 65 miles an hour at pit road here. You see a big gap there between Stephen Hayes and Mike Hayes. That's going to allow that high lane to get the energy, and you can see the 4 of Dittemeyer trying to take the lead away, but here comes Gerber with another push from McMahon. Well, Mike Leftwich just jumped up to that high lane as well, so now we've got 2x2 pretty much through the field. It started off pretty early, everybody getting in line, leaving the high lane out to dry. Now we're starting to see that high lane come back into play. As the field comes across the start-finish line and down towards turn number 1. Side by side still for the lead, Gerber and Dittemeyer. Now there's a little bit of a gap there between McMahon and Stephen Hayes. That's going to allow that high lane to be able to form up a little bit, maybe get some momentum, get themselves back towards the front. As we come across lap number 10. Okay, why don't we crank up the volume a little bit and do a little of our pump it up here and listen to these trucks at full song. Still a battle up at the front. Gerber continuing to lead. Now Dittemeyer still trying to get the run up to the front there. Looks like Joshua Slade had to back off just a little bit. As a, whoa, big wiggle out of Steve Gerber. Could have been a push gone wrong. Now McMahon going to make it 3 wide down the backstretch. Gerber stuck in the middle. McMahon going to bring it along the 42 of Stephen Hayes as well. Oh, there's some contact. Hayes. Oh, big wreck. This is going to be a big one. Caution flag. It's out. And it's the big one here at Daytona. A lot of good trucks tore up in this one. That's going to bring up our Intensity Broadcasting Wreckage Rewind. We take a look to see where and what happened here. It looked like Gerber just got a little out of shape. Watch this one back from the blimp. Yeah, you see the contact between the 42 and the 19. That sends the 19 up into the 4. And Joshua Slade, Christopher Simon getting a piece. Look at Mike Hayes able to drive right through it. Unfortunately, Steve Hayes not having as much luck. Husley involved in that as well. Looks like both Leftwiches. Lester Sr. able to, looks like he was almost able to sneak through there. Just got a little piece of it there at the last second. We see the points leader driving down through the grass, trying to avoid it. Adam Gardner goes down there as well. And there's just nothing you can do when you're that far back. Let's see if we can ride along with one of the drivers who was a little further back in the pack and take a look and see what he saw. Yeah, just absolute chaos in front of him. Not much you can do. Let's ride along with Michael Thorpe here. Kind of right there in the middle of it as well, trying to get woed up. This is with Joshua Slade, and he sees it happen right there and just along for the ride. Nothing he can do, and you can see trucks just piling in. Everybody's hitting everybody, just nothing you can really do. Last view we'll take a look at is on board with Jason Miz. Sees it trying to get slowed down, woed down in time, and man, he does a great job of avoiding everybody there and getting himself around the wreck. So we've had all the drivers come down pit road, and Mike Hayes makes it off of pit road first, put him up into the lead. Jason Miz, who we just rode along with, looks like they took fuel only, or 2 tires, I should say. How about that? Adam Gardner just gained 13 positions due to that wreck. It looks like Mike Hayes is going to come back down pit road and top off again. So Jason Miz is going to take over the lead. Justin McMahon going to come out second. Doug Solms back in the 3rd spot. Daniel Wilkerson up in the 4th, making up 23 positions. Doug Solms up 26. Eddie Rivers up 23 positions, up in the 5th. And Michael Thorpe Jr. up in the 6th. Ricky Hudges in 7th. Adam Gardner comes off pit road in 8th. Jeremiah Stutzman, who drove through the grass to avoid that, comes out in 9th. And Mike Hayes going to restart in 10th. Here we go. Pace car is off. Again, the leader has to fire off in that box. Green flag back in the air as Jason Miz hits the gas, and we are back to green flag racing. With half the field left on track, a lot of drivers, good drivers, taken out in that mess. As already Doug Solms giving a push to Jason Miz down the backstretch. McMahon up on the high side. Getting a push from Daniel Wilkerson. Wilkerson trying to get himself up towards the front as we see a damaged David Husley up in front of the field. See if he's able to peel off and get out of the way of the field coming at quite a difference in speed. As you can see, Husley's going to try to stay up against the wall. That's going to take the field 3 wide momentarily. Ooh, almost some contact between him and Wilkerson, but no harm, no foul. Everybody's able to get on through. We see another truck making his way off pit road, and we only have 16 cars up in this lead pack. McMahon trying to do something up on the high side. Jason Miz holding on to that lead on the bottom with a big push from Doug Solms in the 67. There's a 15 of Eddie Rivers up in here as well. So, as I mentioned before, we might talk about some drivers we don't normally talk about up at the front. Another driver that was able to get through that wreck is the 21 of Kevin Thompson. He's got a little bit of damage to the nose of that truck, but looks like he's able to hang in here with the rest of the field. As we have just 23 laps to go here at Daytona. Oh, Wilkerson almost gets up in the wall. Big wiggle out of the 78. Amazingly able to hold on to it. That's a tough thing to save a truck that's going side to side like that, as McMahon was almost into the lead, but here comes Miz back on the bottom with a big push from Doug Solms. Now that low lane starting to get hooked up, get formed up a little bit better. We see Chris Leftwich towards the back of the pack just made a big move to get himself up to the high side. He's got some help from behind. He also has a lot of damage to that truck, and that's not going to help him move forward at all. We see the 5 of Kenny Heath try to move himself up front as well. So Leftwich definitely not going to be able to lead with that damage on the front, but he can help out by giving a push to another truck and get them up towards the front. So we see Jason Miz still battling with Justin McMahon for the lead. Solom's doing a good job right there on the back bumper, giving a big push to Miz, keeping him out in front. The field rockets down the backstretch. Next time by, we'll have just 20 laps to go, the halfway point. And we see the 6 of Michael Lester Sr. Again, one Talladega. We see the field coming by, another damaged truck there. One at Talladega taking his time right now, being patient, trying to keep himself in contention here up towards the front. And now it looks like the entire field's just kind of biding their time right now, trying to get single file. So have McMahon and Wilkerson up on the high line, but everybody else kind of tucking in line on the bottom. And if this field can get lined up that way on the bottom, it's going to be no chance from McMahon and McMahon and Wilkerson up at the top. What Miz and Solms need right now is that 15 of Eddie Rivers, not to push, but get right there up on the back bumpers. The third truck cannot push, but he can help out by getting right on the back bumper and giving an assist. It's a little air bubble that forms on between the trucks, and you can actually use that bubble to push those trucks forward. As we see the 15 now jumping up to the high side. And McMahon's going to take over the lead here. Is he going to drop down in front of Miz, or is he going to try to pull Wilkerson and Rivers along on the high side? Looks like McMahon's going to stay up on the high side. Ooh, big wiggle out of the 15 of Rivers. He's able to hold on to it. Now we're back through it. Oh, Wilkerson up into the wall. Drivers are going to have to scatter. We got 3 wide behind. And McMahon's going to lose all that momentum that he just had. Is he going to be able to tuck down in line or not? Is he going to get freight trained to the back of the field? Looks like there's a hole between the 34 of Michael Thorpe and Ricky Hudges. Is he going to be able to tuck down? No, Lester's going to jump up to the high side as they're coming up on the lap truck of Michael Leftwich. Leftwich is going to dive down underneath onto the apron. So here comes Lester and McMahon. It's a little early to try to make any racewing moves right now, but he's trying to test the waters to see what he's got. He's got a little bit of damage to the right side of that truck, but it's not slowing him down too much as he's out there leading that high lane. Here comes Miz and Solms, though, back on that bottom lane. And now they're starting to pull away with the help of Michael Thorpe Jr. So Michael Thorpe knows that he's got to stay right there on the back bumper without making contact to Doug Solms. And you can see the speed that that bottom lane has, the energy that that bottom lane currently has, as here comes McMahon trying to make it 3 wide. Because he knows that Lester is not going to have the speed to help him out. And here comes the 34 of Thorpe Jr. up on the high side. Another lapper coming off a turn at number 4 right in front of the field. Now Miz and Thorpe side by side for the lead. What's this lap truck going to do? Is he going to drive down onto the apron? He's just going to stay there on the bottom. There's contact. Miz gets into the back of the 34. Oh, heavy contact. I don't think anybody got through that cleanly. They're still coming through and wrecking. That's going to be our second wreckage rewind of the night. Looks like it was Marshall Johnson. He's trying to stay low on the bottom, but just didn't give enough room. As you see Miz trying to decide where Marshall Johnson's going to go. He's going to try to move up the track. He's got to make a last-second move. Gets up into the 34 of Thorpe. And from there, it is just on. The only driver really makes it through is Ricky Hudges. We see Solms make hard contact, go up and over the 6 of Lester. You see the 7 of Miz make contact with the 15 of Eddie Rivers. Daniel Wilkerson gets a little piece right there as well, making contact with Thorpe. There's McMahon barely sneaking through. Chris Leftwich trying to slow down and woe up, and he makes contact right there as well. And Lester Sr. able to drive through without getting any damage in this one. So but we see the heavy damage to the left side of Ricky Hudges' machine. As he's going to make his way down to pit road. The whole field is going to make their way down pit road this time. See our leader on pit road. Everybody making their way down pit road this time as well. See Mike Hayes, Jonathan Jennings just making his way off pit road. He's going to be the first truck off of pit roads. Jeremiah Stutzman comes off pit road in second. So with just 14 laps to go here at Daytona, Jonathan Jennings is your leader in the 2 machine, with Jeremiah Stutzman sitting back in second. And again, a lot of trucks taking on that last wreck. Looks like we're going to have just 7 trucks on the lead lap. And Jennings looks like he's going to make his way down pit road now. That's going to give the lead to Jeremiah Stutzman. So here we go. We're going to re-rack them, restack them, and refire them. Again, that restart zone going to come into play. Stutzman's got to hold pace speed until he gets into that zone. Once he reaches that zone, he'll be able to fire off anywhere inside that zone. If he chooses not to, the green flag will come out, and we will resume racing whether the leader hits the gas or not. So here we go. Lights on the pace car are off. We're going back green flag racing this time. Pace car going to take that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Again, all drivers have to maintain pace speed until they reach the restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing here at Daytona. Great restart for Ricky Hudges on the high side. Fortunately for him, no help as Kevin Thompson right there on the bottom, giving a big push to Jeremiah Stutzman. And just these 7 cars, well, currently racing for the win. As Hudges trying to get a big push from Lester here. Again, I don't think there's a truck out there that doesn't have any damage on it. Actually, Jeremiah Stutzman might be the only truck. Him and the 5 of Kenny Heath, I think, are the only 2 trucks out there without a scratch. They come across the line. This time we'll have just 11 laps to go. At this point, you got to imagine who's trying to hook up with who here, who's trying to make friends to get themselves to the end. Kevin Thompson all over the back bumper. You see Heath out of line, out of shape as they come off of turn number 2. He's going to have to fall back to the end of the field here. Some tight racing up front, a little bit of side drafting, a little wiggle out of the 6 of Lester Sr. Ten laps to go here at Daytona. See Michael Lester cutting through traffic here, trying to get himself in a position to win. He's got Jonathan Jennings right in front of him. Field comes off of turn number 4. They're going to be single file. Just trying to set each other up, see who can make the move towards the end, because right now you can make a move, but it's not going to win you the race. So Lester's going to jump up to the high side all by himself up there. We'll see how far that run takes him. It looks like Thompson and Stutzman starting to run a little bit higher, allowing him to come along as well. Now Thompson up on the high side is getting a big push from Lester Sr. And we see Mike Hayes up there on the high side as well. So now it's 3 versus 2. Top side and bottom side. Ricky Hudges and Kenny Heath trying to make their way up into the mix here, as well as Thompson is going to take the lead with just 8 laps to go. Now here comes Lester up on the high side with a big push. As Mike Hayes is going to put Lester out to the front. Now Hayes has nobody behind him. He's going to be in trouble. He's going to get freight trained all the way back to the end of this line. As we see a couple trucks down on the apron trying to prepare themselves to keep out of the way of the leaders. And yeah, Hayes, you can see, just in trouble with nobody behind him, nobody in front of him, and he's falling like a rock. So Lester Sr. out in front of Kevin Thompson, out in front of Jeremiah Stutzman. Now we know that 96 truck has been fast, as Kevin Thompson trying to use a little air to get that 96 back up to him. And you can do that. You can, as the second place driver, you can pull that top line up a little bit and then stall them out and just kind of put yourself in position. You can see that Mike Hayes was able to get alongside Lester Sr., but then wasn't able to do anything with it, as he's going to fall back into the clutches of the rest of the field. Here comes the 5 of Kenny Heath, though, up on the high side, coming to give a hand to the 96. I'll tell you what, the driver right now who's in the catbird seat is that 71. He's got him exactly where he wants to be. He's got these guys racing in front of him, pushing a big hole in the air. He's got a little bit of help behind him from Jonathan Jennings, who knows how to push. I would be surprised if that 71 steals this one as we're coming to the white flag. But right now, Mike Hayes and Lester Sr. are side by side for the lead. Thompson shoving down on the bottom. Heath shoving on the high side. Stutzman just, he could pull up if he wanted to as Heath catches the wall. He could pull up if he wanted to. But right now he's kind of just running back a little bit, knowing that if something happened in front of him, he'd have a little bit of room. Excuse me. Have a little bit of room in case something happens in front of him. He can avoid any wrecks. You see a couple trucks drafting up on the high side. All those drivers off pace. Now Thompson's going to jump up to the high side. He's going to try to get around or get a push here from Kenny Heath. Now Mike Hayes down on the bottom. So Ricky Hodges moves himself up into the 5th position with just 4 laps to go. $10 miles to decide it. Doing some heavy side drafting, pinching down off the corner. Trying to break the momentum of the driver next to you. Right now they run in formation 2x2 down into turn number 3. Ooh, Lester pushes up the track a little bit, forces Kevin Thompson to run high. We see Kenny Heath tucking down onto the bottom. And there's Stutzman now up on the high side trying to get something going. Thompson jumping up there as well. Kenny Heath's going to have a big pull here. A big hole being pushed by the 6 and the 96, able to pull him up. Thompson's losing a little bit of ground now. He's going to have to fall in behind Ricky Hodges. Now the field gets back single file, and as I say that, here comes Thompson back up on the high side with Stutzman and Jonathan Jennings. Now Kenny Heath up to the high side. Ooh, big wiggle out of that 5 machine. Able to hold on to it, and you never want to get a wiggle like that at 180 miles an hour. Here comes Thompson with another big push to that 5. As we come across the line, just 2 laps to go, 5 miles to go here at Daytona. Oh, Lester gets turned. Big wreck. Mike Hayes out in front. No caution yet, no caution. Ricky Hodges sits back in second. Jeremiah Stutzman is rolling. Kenny Heath rolling. Everybody is rolling, so no caution. No caution comes out. As Mike Hayes comes through turns 3 and 4. And he's going to take the white flag. Can he hold on to get his 3rd win in a row? White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go. Yellow flag has been put away. Can Ricky Hodges, does he have anything left to try to draft up to the 96 machine? He's catching him. We see Hayes having to use a little bit of trying to break the draft there to keep that 55 behind him, but the 55 is there right on the back bumper. He's going to try to give him a little bump here through the corner, but as they come off of turn number 4, Mike Hayes, Ricky Hodges to the line. Hodges trying to find any move he can make. He's going to drive all the way down onto the apron, but Michael Hayes is going to win here at Daytona. Ricky Hodges comes home second. Jeremiah Stutzman comes home in third. Kenny Heath coming off of turn number 4. He's got a couple hard charges right behind him. Who's it going to be? Jonathan Jennings is going to take home 4th. And Kenny Heath is going to round out your top 5. But Mike Hayes gets the win for his 3rd win in a row here in the Shoney's Truck Series, brought to you by Doghouse Racing. A little friendly gamesmanship between those two right there. Hayes is going to come down onto the front stretch and burn it down. So we take a look at the results. Mike Hayes is your winner. Ricky Hudgens comes home in second. Jeremiah Stutzman comes home third. Jonathan Jennings fourth. And Kenny Heath rounds out your top five. Kevin Thompson rebounds for sixth. Andrew Pratt comes home seventh. Marshall Johnson in the eighth position. Then Michael Lester Sr. back in ninth. And Dale Wilkerson rebounds for a 10th place finish. 11th is Adam Gardner, David Husley in 12th, Michael Leftwich 13th, Steve Gerber and Christopher Simon round out your top 15. Then Michael Thorpe comes home 16th, Chris Leftwich back in 17th, Jason Miz, Justin McMahon, and Eddie Rivers round out your top 20. 21st will be Doug Solms and Connor Dittmeyer in 22nd. Leander Johnson, Steve Hayes, and DJ Cunninghut round out your top 25. Eric Peck in 25th, Stephen Hayes 26th, Joshua Slade, Chuck Cobb, Andrew Duff, and Kevin Powell round out your field here tonight at Daytona. Let's talk to our, not waiting for him to pop in here, our top three. Wait for anybody to hop down in here. Of course, this is a great time to talk about your league sponsor, Shoney's. Doghouse Racing League's Tuesday Night Truck Series is proud to be sponsored by Shoney. Shoney is open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations, try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar, and take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's delicious food and friendly service since 1947. See if we have anybody in the waiting room yet. No, it doesn't look like we have any of our top three here tonight. But man, what a wild race we've had tonight. A couple drivers making some wild moves. We saw a couple big wrecks. All the three wrecks that we saw tonight, two of them bringing out yellow flags, taking out pretty much the entire field here tonight at Daytona. That's going to do it for us here at Intensity Broadcasting. Again, thank you for joining us tonight. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Check us out at our webstore at intensitybroadcasting.com. And join us here every Tuesday night for the Doghouse Racing League Shoney's Truck Series. Following this, we'll have the SCSRA Truck Series taking on Martinsville. It's the first race of the playoffs for them. So join us for that. And as always, as our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would say, over and out.